We got 72 reviews in a week. So
Good
thank
Lord.
you guys.
Thanks.
That made me feel really good. They're like mostly 1 and 2 star reviews,
They
but
hate
still.
us. But we appreciate it. Thanks for the hate.
No, I'm just
thanks
kidding.
for the
They're mostly
love.
5.
It's so sweet. April
Yeah,
Fools.
really cool. April Fools. Okay, we're going to start off today we've had this Michonne Haiku contest going on, and we're going to close it out today. We're going to announce the winner. If you remember, let's see, this was the Pen is Mightier Than the Sword contest. We've got this this Sky Wi-Fi smart pen donated by Maddie of LiveScribe, and I guess I'll tell you about the prize before we announce the winner. So it records everything you write in here. You tap anywhere on your notes to replay the audio from that moment in time, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
And then you can download it up to the cloud and then have access to it from everywhere. So pretty cool.
It's a pretty badass little tool.
And I think it's like a $200 thing too. So we got many entries for this. This is our most popular contest ever. And some awesome haikus.
We did.
Like some really good ones. In fact, this makes me want to do a collection and have it illustrated or something like that. You know, there's some really
fantastic.
good ones in here. So I had Karen go through and pick her favorite ones.
And the topic
so we have some runner-ups.
Because it was the pen is mightier than the sword, obviously, it's all about Michonne. And it was one of the best contests to judge because it was just so fun to read everybody's creative entries. So
so you have how many? Like 6 honorable mentions and then the winner, right?
Yes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the 6 honorable mentions and then I'm going to read the winner last. So
and if you're an honorable mention, you get nothing. But but
congratulations.
Just know that we love your
exactly.
And
exactly.
we're going to put all of these, by the way, up on Tumblr in batches.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. This first one comes from Chris H., whose haiku goes like this. Eye-stabbing badass or ninja for fugly cat. Either way, love her. Isn't that great? The other runner-up is from Andrew Toby, who writes, while weary of some, to her loved ones, she can be very disarming. It's good, man. It's good. This one comes from Aaron Bradley, who writes, limping to the fence, wounded as a hunted fox. I brought formula. Which is
sweet.
A nice housewarming gift if anyone has a newborn. David Clacy writes, Carl, you must wait here. I need my pretty kitty. Ninja skills, in parentheses. I'm back. And this one comes from Eric Engberg, who writes, live, nimble, killer, dripping death and destruction. Loves colorful cats. Can you see cats were a theme here? Mm-hmm. And Mike Belisario writes, do we give her up? Swords don't run out of ammo. I think we'll keep her. Finally, the winner.
Very astute.
Yes, the winner of the contest is Bill Bradbury,
Yay.
whose terrific haiku goes like this. Zombie samurai, jawless walkers by her side. Oh, look, a kitty.
We thought that really summed her up. Kind of, she's a zombie samurai, she's got her pets, and it's very dark and gritty, and then it's like, oh, all of a sudden this surprise little bit of sunshine. Yeah,
the fugly cat. So congratulations, Bill Bradbury.
I'll email you and then get your information, and then we'll send this out to you.
Yep.
But thanks again to everybody who entered that, and we'll be putting those up on Tumblr.
Well done.
And speaking of smart pens, we're giving a pro version of this away. It's $250 value. It's Wi-Fi enabled. And we're doing that at the Comic-Con event that I'm doing in conjunction with James and Eric of the Walker Stalkers. So that's just part of it. We're going to be doing other prizes, a live podcast. It's going to be a party. And so far, we've got Nick Gomez, who played Tomas, confirmed to be there with us. So we'll talk to him on the live podcast, and you guys can mingle with him and stuff.
That guy is not bad looking.
He was fun to talk to, too.
And he was charming.
Yeah.
Charming and not bad looking. Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be in Dexter this upcoming season.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
He's a looper, so
Yeah.
even if it's just him,
He's an
it'll be
up-and-comer,
cool. But we're
man.
hoping to get some more actors to join us for
I
that
liked
too.
him.
So we'd love it if more of you would join us for that. Karen's going to try really hard to Skype in. I'm going to be there with James and Eric if you're fans of their podcast. So go to walkingdeadcast.com/tickets if you want to join in.
Nice.
And then one more contest just for good measure. I thought we'd do a best Deadcast top 5 suggestion. We did this once before.
Oh.
We had Ian from the UK.
Yeah.
He did his.
Yeah, that's right.
What would you do if you got bit? It ended up being very depressing. But
I think one of my answers was eat my cat.
why not?
She's so cute.
And tasty. So during the off season, we do, if you haven't listened to us before, during the off season, we do Deadcast top 5, just random topics like, top 5. What's the top 5 worst mistakes to make around a zombie?
Top 5
like
weapons. Top 5 zombie movies.
And we can branch out too. It can be TV related or, anything else that you think would be interesting or fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So, and there's not really a deadline for this. It'll be going on, all through the off season. So just send your suggestion to brains@walkingdeadcast.com. And if we like it, then we'll do it. And if you want, you can come on the show and do it with us.
What do they win, Don Pardo?
They get to come on the show and do it with us.
Oh, really? That's what they win? Mm-hmm. Cool.
I think that's a pretty good prize.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have kind of a big announcement about the future of the podcast, but I want to save it for the end segment. So be sure to listen to the end for that. All right, let's move on.
Attention, shoppers. Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, what'd you think?
I gave this episode 4.132 out of 5 brains.
That's low.
For me, it kind of is. And maybe it's because, I was thinking about this, maybe because it's been such a strong season that I expected the world's greatest season finale. And it was okay. It was good.
Yeah.
I expected more of a big finish. And the ending was, the bus pulling up at the prison and people getting off the bus and filing in. And I was like, oh, okay. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I gave it a 4.6, which is
that's pretty high, actually.
Decent. Yeah. I thought it was an amazing episode that fizzled out at the end. And it's really important to stick the landing because the feeling that you leave people with is kind of what they take with them after that.
Right. That's right.
And I think that, up until a few minutes before the end, it had the potential to be an amazing episode, except for the fact that it still wasn't wrapping things up. But still, I liked it. I mean, I don't know. What if it had ended well? Would you have liked up until the last 10 minutes?
Although another tiny little criticism, it's a small criticism because again, I really did like this episode, was that there was a giant build up for this war. Pretty much all season, it was a build up, and the war lasted about a minute.
I mean, I kept thinking about that. It's like one time, I forget if I've talked about this on the podcast before.
Is this a Three's Company?
No, in college, somebody mentioned there's going to be a food fight at the food co-op at 6 p.m., right? And we're like, food fight, so much fun. And so way more people than normal showed up at the food co-op, and we just totally piled up on the food, right? Because you could get as much food as you wanted for the same price. Brownies and Jell-O. And then we were all sitting there, and at about 10 till 6, the lunch lady came out and took down the clocks. She had heard, and she was staring at everybody.
No way!
And it was like really tense in the room, right? And then 6 o'clock rolled by. We had watches, and it went by, and we were all looking at each other. And finally, they came out with cameras, like they're going to take pictures of whoever tried to throw food. Finally, one guy stood up and threw some food, and they took his picture, and nobody else did anything. and he's like, oh. And then all of a sudden, just like something snapped, and everybody let it fly. And it lasted about 5 seconds. In about 5 seconds, all the food that was on our plates was scattered around the walls of the thing, and everybody was running out. So it was awesome, but it just, those things don't last very long, I think,
And you wonder why lunch ladies are bitter.
It was one of the peak moments of my life.
Short but sweet, huh?
She had to clean that all up by herself.
She's like, dicks.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know. You have a firefight. You don't want to see them going for like 30 minutes. For 30 minutes.
No, of course you don't. No, absolutely. But there was, it seemed like there was some filler kind of, there was like, people claim that a couple episodes that we've had recently have been sort of filler episodes, that they were sort of leading up. And they came in and, not much happened. They got the booby trap and then they were like, retreat.
Well, what would you have wanted to happen? See, other people said that too, listeners. And I'm like, okay, they said there wasn't much of a battle. And I'm like, well, they came in with their guns, blew up a whole bunch of stuff. There were smoke grenades and people got killed. And what else is there in a battle?
They need to focus more on the zombie extras.
No, seriously. Like what?
Because my part got cut out.
What would it have been?
I don't know. We don't know what happened to the governor afterwards.
I know. I mean, that's a different point. I'm just wondering, like the battle.
Related. It's sort of related because
they fell back and then they didn't.
Well, they fell back, and actually what happened after they left the prison, I thought was the real interesting thing when the governor went apeshit and killed his the Woodbury soldiers.
I mean, we can move on to other
let's
points
talk about
if you
that.
want, but I'm just like, I don't get what about the battle.
Well, for instance, when he left, when everybody left Herschel's farm, the zombies attacked and a barn burned, and it was pretty spectacular. And a lot of different things happened, and they left Andrea behind.
But all of that was only the first 15 minutes of that episode. And the rest of the episode was other stuff.
Still, that's a quarter of the episode. This seemed like it was about a minute tops. I mean, maybe it was 2 minutes.
No, because, they did go down.
Prison, did go down, and he got the message in the Bible from Herschel. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Anyways, let's get started with our top 5. Can I go first this time?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Number 5, me. I'm in this.
Yeah, you are.
And that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, you were.
I thought.
You had some good screen time.
Yeah, I was stoked.
You died twice.
I never know if I'm, the last time I was in it in season 2, I didn't know if I'd see myself, and there I was. So this time, if you want to see me and you have the iTunes file, if you just happen to, that's one I was using. Go to 12 minutes, 41 seconds. It's when they're all break through the prison and they're just gunning down all the zombies in the field. And there's a guy with a machine gun and the camera's looking over his shoulder, and the 2 zombies get capped in that shot, and I'm the second one with the dark hair. And it was like a just very clear shot.
It was. It really,
and
really was.
I thought I did. I mean, I hate to brag, but I mean, I'm always nervous of, like, when you get shot, you're supposed to snap your head back and have your arms go out, but not too far out.
Yeah.
And I thought it looked pretty good.
It did.
As far as my fall.
It did. Plus, you got CGI'd the blood.
Yeah.
That was pretty great.
That was pretty cool.
So you can do a screen capture so we can see it?
Yeah. I don't know. I get a little nervous about putting stuff up online and having AMC see it and call the cops on me or something. We're not supposed to really publicize it, but Here I am saying it on a podcast.
Right.
Anyways, the second one is at 21:27 when the Woodbury soldiers are. See, that's 20 minutes in right there. They're still doing this battle. But anyway, the Woodbury soldiers are going through the prison and in the tombs, and they shoot a couple of zombies and they shoot me in the head, and I fall backwards onto my back and my face is right in the camera. It's just for a split second, but if you see one fall on his back, that's me.
That's Jason.
And I filmed I was thinking, you didn't see yourself at all, huh? Did you go through and look?
I might have seen it myself. I didn't do the slow-mo fast forward, but
we need to do that.
I might have been in the field, but if I was there, I was a speck.
Yeah. I've got the file that we can just hit the forward arrow and go frame by frame, so we'll have to look. But I wish you would have stayed for that second day of filming.
I don't know. I still would have been a speck, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Looking at what they kept in and what they cut. The part that I was in, it made sense that they cut, because what happened was they filmed us with a tower exploding behind us, which they didn't include, by the way, in at least
they did show 3 towers exploding in the episode.
Did they?
Yeah, definitely. I watched it again today.
Oh, you know what?
Maybe you're in there.
Maybe
then.
no, they put the tower in, but maybe they didn't show us.
I think that
it was the top of the tower
exploding. Close-ups of the tower.
Yeah, so they exploded it after the Woodbury soldiers retreated from the prison. They get back on their truck and they fire at some more zombies. But it kind of didn't make any sense because after they're retreating, they're all freaked out and they just want to get away.
Yeah.
Why bother?
And maybe that's what the editors thought.
Yeah,
too.
and that would have been a good call. In retrospect.
Yeah. And probably, I don't know, maybe the next day of filming would have been more of that. But I just think that because the 2 shots that I was in one was on my second day of filming and one was on my third.
Yeah.
So the ones that, all the work I did on the first day, maybe you see me as a little speck, but that's it.
But your extra friend, Colin, was in it.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe you went all the way out there and then you didn't take the opportunity to do a second day.
It messed up with my flight, and during that day is the day I got to spend time in Sonoy.
Yeah, that was
and I
cool.
toured all around Sonoy and ate at the Sonoy Cafe, which is great, by the way. People, if you have a chance, go to the Sonoy Cafe. They have really good food.
And if they offer you a chance to either be a zombie or go to the Sonoy Cafe, you should definitely go to the Sonoy Cafe.
I don't know. I did it. I did it. I was done. It was a long day.
Yeah, it was. Those were long days. Okay, what's your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is the surprise of the governor. Instead of torturing Andrea, what he does instead is he basically makes Milton into his weapon. So he does torture Andrea, but he does it by turning Milton into a zombie, which I thought was freaking brilliant. You know, he gives Milton the chance to kill Andrea, although he was never going to let Milton go. I feel like he was going to kill Milton no matter what. But he knew.
I don't think so.
I think he would have, and he knew. I think he also knew that Milton would never have killed Andrea in cold blood.
Yeah, probably.
And so it was a nice, surprising little scene, and I loved his line in this life: "You kill or you die, or you die and then you kill." It was pretty funny, and the whole thing of Andrea then waiting for Milton to turn, and Milton, the actor Dallas Roberts, was just terrific in that scene. And of course, at some point, I wanted her to just shut up and get the pliers, the freaking pliers.
She didn't really start working at it until after he already turned.
Yeah, he's like, hurry, get the pliers.
Yeah, even he's saying it. Like, aren't you gonna?
Yeah.
But I kind of like that because it's a horror movie thing. People, she was being dumb in a way that people in horror movies are always dumb when you're screaming at the screen.
Yes. There was a lot of screaming at the television last night. I didn't want to scare Nico, but there was some screaming.
Did you think the governor did torture Andrea at all?
Yeah, I mean, she's bloodied, so he must have smacked her around. I don't think he used those tools on her.
Her wrists were especially bloody, which makes me think she was struggling to get free. But we saw her in the end of the episode 2 weeks ago when she had the duct tape over her mouth, I guess. It'd be interesting to compare that shot with the one from last night and see if she was any bloodier.
How much time would have passed? Not much, right?
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, if she was already bloody from whatever she went through,
right,
when he dragged her back from the prison, But I have a feeling maybe he didn't, because he said to Milton, you get those tools. I'm not going to need them anymore, because he decides, I'm not going to need those because you're going to be the one to kill Andrea.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he still didn't already do a little torturing. I mean, the whole torture thing, it was a little like, why would he even have those torture implements? That's for when you need to get information. With her. Yeah, I guess to punish her because she was disloyal.
Yes.
That's what it was
and
about.
Maybe at one point he considered it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, is that it? Okay, mine is number 4 is just kind of that the governor is, I mean, he was psycho a couple weeks ago, but this episode he's full on villain.
Yes.
And from the very first scene, which was great, didn't you think? Like the whole second person where he's beating up Milton, but it's kind of feels like he's beating us up.
Yeah, because he punches the camera. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
At first I thought it was Andrea, which I think we were supposed to think that.
Yeah.
And then you hear Milton go. And I felt so bad for Milton in that scene. This is the torture camp. I thought it would be funny if it ended up being Randall, because it was like the Randall cam. That'd be. It's like
Randall.
Oh, Randall's already dead. I
Yes. You can torture the Randall zombie.
Randall zombie.
Oh no, that's dead too.
That's dead too. I thought it's interesting that it's almost like, I don't know, a pattern. It is a pattern that people keep having the chance to kill the governor.
Yes.
And they don't take it.
How the guy has a freaking Teflon bubble
They just
around
stare
him.
at him.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna point the gun at you, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, for God's sakes, and then just shoots.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
This episode, Martinez and that big black
Schubert,
guy,
I think his name is.
Schumpert,
Whatever.
Shumper. I looked it up. Did you look it up?
I
don't know how to
heard
pronounce
Schubert.
it. Schubert. Oh, maybe that's
Yeah,
right.
whatever.
Anyway, they could have killed him. It kind of makes sense they might not, since they're loyal to him. But
They had a chance.
Alan could have totally killed
Alan
him.
could have.
He had his gun pointed right at him.
Andrea twice.
Yeah. In previous episodes.
Yeah.
And one of our listeners brought up the Woodburyans, who were all armed. Once he started shooting them, you think one of them might just shoot him.
One might get a shot off, but I tell you, he has a Teflon bubble around him that keeps him from. Yeah, it's awful. And by the way, did you love that you could hear inside his head when he yells at them, "Go back to the prison"? They're like, "Hell no, we're not going to go back." And the gal starts telling him that was like a bloodbath. We're not supposed to kill people. We're supposed to kill walkers. Blah blah. And all of a sudden,
That's Karen
She
saying
goes, "That's Karen." Yeah, Karen and Karen. She goes quiet, and then you just hear this buzzing sound inside his head, which is his fury. You get to listen to his fury, which I love.
Yes, I love that too. Just little effects like that make a huge difference.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Are you going to mention the whole Bible quote at some point?
I am.
Okay, I'll leave that out for now. And then when the governor did gun down the Woodburyans, that was shocking. Yeah, that was like, I mean, I don't ever want to see that, especially with all the gun violence in the country, but it was like pretty intense. And they kind of cut away from it. He shot a couple people, and then they didn't show him shooting the rest.
But he shot the rest.
He shot all of them except for his two henchmen,
Right.
and Alan at first. And,
Who hid behind the truck, by the way?
and they're like, just step over here. I think the show is desensitizing us towards violence. It gets more, it started out pretty violent, but it gets even more violent as it progresses. I wouldn't be surprised if by a couple seasons from now, they show full on something like this.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Last night on The Talking Dead, one of the guests who was on, Yvette Nicole Brown, she's on Community. She's actually really funny. She's a comedian. She was on it, and she said, the first 2 seasons, I cared about zombies and people getting shot, and was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
Yeah, exactly. And that's like what happens when you go to war.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
I just found out I have 3 sisters recently, and I've been like, kind of starting to get to know them and everything. And I told one of them that I do this podcast, and she doesn't watch Walking Dead. And she just wrote to me today, and she's like, I started watching Walking Dead, but it was so graphic I couldn't get through it. And I'm like, I can imagine if you're not into this kind of thing,
Yeah.
and especially if you start with an episode now,
Yes.
you'd be like, oh
my God.
what is my new brother into here?
Right, exactly. The most popular show
Yeah.
on
Like,
basic cable.
I don't know if I want to get to know this guy.
Yeah, we hear that. And by the way, that was my number 4 as well. That the governor gets crazier, if that's even possible, by slaughtering his own people. And it was funny because it was actually not even a very good tactical measure.
No, I think he just let his emotion get away from him.
Like, he's been getting crazier and crazier since
That's
his
what
daughter
that
died.
whole that you just mentioned, that it was like these people.
Yeah, you could practically see the red in his eyes and see the steam coming out of his ears.
I would have just added so much if they would have put that in there.
It's funny that he decided not to go back to Woodbury, by the way. I guess he felt like maybe they would have been ambushed if he went back there. Like,
We don't
maybe...
know where he went.
Nope, no idea.
Yeah. My guess, if he would have went back there, he would have been there when Rick got there, huh?
Is he going to Disneyland now?
He'll be back, though.
Yes, I imagine he will be. You can't keep a supervillain away from a show like that.
This is in the news that I'm going to read, but I'll just say it now that at least Hollywood Reporter reported that he's going to be a series regular next season.
Oh, the governor show. Okay, go with your number 3.
I just also wanted to. I was just wondering when he shot them all down and then he went over and started shooting them again. Was that just to make sure they were dead? So they wouldn't come after him, or what was that all about?
Oh, yeah, and also maybe to keep them from coming back and being zombies.
That's what I was thinking, but I think that would be kind of a merciful thing. And it didn't seem like he was in mercy mode. I think he just wanted to
make sure they're dead.
I think.
Yeah. Nice that he ran out of bullets right at the exact right time.
That Karen got away.
She was like, shoo.
Karen, by the way, I really think that Glenn Mazzara liked you and named that character after you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
and
probably
she survived.
Even though I was on the show after there was already a Karen, but okay.
No, I don't think so. Probably. No, we interviewed him for season 2.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It was
totally
an homage to me. Thanks, Glenn.
Okay, where are we? Number 3? 3, Carl. A lot of stuff to say about Carl in this one. I think that Rick is afraid that Carl is going to turn into the governor. In the beginning of this episode, the governor says to Milton, "You kill or you die." And he says, "If I'd been like this from the start, Penny would have been alive today." And Carl is like, he kills this boy and then tells Rick that if he would have killed Andrew, his mom would be alive, and if Carl would have killed that Walker, but
then Dale would be alive.
Yeah, Dale would be alive. Exactly, and that kill or you die is in this show is always being contrasted with live together, die alone.
Right.
Those two are kind of mutually exclusive.
They are,
and neither one of them is always the right way.
Right.
In my opinion, I would tend towards live together, die alone, but do it smartly. For example, when Carl, when the kid, he told the kid to drop his gun and the kid didn't. He was trying to hand it to him, it looked like, or maybe he was just biding time so he could shoot him.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell for sure. Well, if I would have had enough presence of mind anyway, I would have said, drop it now or I'm going to kill you. And then if he didn't do it, I would have killed him.
Right.
I think that just that little extra step there, just make it really clear. You better drop it right now or you're going to die.
Yeah,
Then it would have been like no question about whether the kid knew that he was.
And I think that it was purposefully done in an ambiguous way.
Yes, it was, so that you didn't know for sure whether Carl had made the right decision. And I'm just saying, if he had done it the way I just said, then it would be less ambiguous. But then it wouldn't have worked with, the whole drama of the thing.
Right. Sure. It's funny, on The Talking Dead last night, that was their question. Did he do the right thing?
Right.
Should he have killed him or not? And they were 50-50 on it. I fall on the side of... I have to be honest. Okay, so...
Yeah, be honest.
I'll be honest. Normally, I'm very much give peace a chance. Yeah, kumbaya. But the way that they filmed it, I thought there was no way that kid was dropping his weapon. They told him, drop your weapon. And instead of dropping it, he goes, oh, okay. And he kind of slowly goes to hand it over. But instead of reversing it, so he hands it over butt side first. He, so it looks as if he's about ready to either shoot or her pistol smack them. Yeah. And I was yelling at the TV, shoot him! And he did.
Let me ask you this. Is there a chance that the kid was so freaked out that he was about to die that he kind of froze?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it is ambiguous, but I would have erred on the side of caution. I think I would have done the same thing at this point.
But can you agree that if you could at least say, drop it now or you die?
Right.
And then shoot him.
Yeah. Yeah. But apparently Carl was not up for giving second chances.
Carl's just looking for an excuse. That kid, by the way, that Carl shot, he had when I filmed The Walking Dead, I think he's the one that shot me in the prison.
Oh, no kidding. morning.
And he had
Sweet
this
justice.
look in his eye, like in the break room, like, I want to shoot a zombie. He had this bloodthirsty look in his eye, right?
A lot of those Woodbury guys did.
And like, I can't wait to shoot a zombie. But the ironic thing is, a lot of the zombies are all, I want to get shot. I want to get shot. So it kind of we fit together really well. But still, I remember that kid especially seemed to really get off on the idea of it. And that kind of colored my perception. So I have to admit, when I saw that too, I was like, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. But looking back on it, it was ambiguous, I thought.
Yeah. It was tough. It was as David likes to refer to it, it's the fog of war.
Wait. Oh, go ahead.
You don't know what's going on in war. And, that guy had just been inside the prison trying to kill them. If that kid had been in the prison and had seen Carl, he would have shot him. They were there to shoot the prison people,
right?
Prison
but
populace.
with that rationale, they should have killed Karen too, because she was there to do it too.
Right, but she surrendered and she did not have a gun in her hands. I think if they had seen Karen, if Karen had a gun in her hands pointed at them, and then she did the exact same gesture, they would have shot her.
Yeah, I think they would.
The only reason why they let Karen live is because she put her hands up immediately and made eye contact.
And she went, boo!
Yeah. Like she could have maybe done that a little more gently.
Yes.
Yeah. But it is the fog of war, and these things happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. You never know how you're going to react in situations like this.
Right.
But just to close on Carl, he sees. I loved how at the end he sees the Woodburyans coming off the bus, and he looks totally disgusted.
Yeah.
What's this?
Right. They're
And
joining us.
They're going to join us, and he looks like he's got this look on his face, like, I'm teaching you a lesson right now. And I've heard Andrew Lincoln talking about this. He realizes that he needs to introduce some society and civilization and back into Carl's life, like bring some humanity back to it.
Some old people to die in their cells and then come back as zombies.
They're not all old.
No, they're not. In fact, I saw a little baby being brought in, so I was thinking, yay, a playmate for little ass kicker.
Okay.
What's your number 2?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's my turn. Wait, is it my turn?
Yeah, it is, because that was my number 3 also was Carl shoots the kid.
We have almost the same list. So just the whole Milton Andrea setup was a nice counterpoint, because it was just 2 people in a room, but so it was like to balance out all the action that was happening in the rest of the episode. But there was still tension, because you knew that he was about to turn into a zombie and she's chained to a chair. That's a great setup.
Yeah.
And plus it's 2 interesting characters, and the actors are doing a great job in the scene. I thought it was great. I learned that originally they filmed that and Milton got shot and by the governor, I guess, and then he like tried to find a way out of the cell and everything, and it was more like movement and action. But I kind of liked how it was still,
How he's just laying there?
Yeah, because he's really fucked up by that
Right.
knife.
He can't crawl over and hand the pliers to Andrea.
I mean, maybe he could have, but I just liked how it was just them staring at each other.
Right.
And it was kind of ridiculous that she didn't work faster. But like I said, I kind of like that because it's a horror trope.
And maybe she did try to convince herself, you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay, you're not going to die. It's just a flesh wound. Those multiple stabs in your abdomen.
That's
just a flesh wound.
He's still, just in case, you should get yourself out of there.
I learned that Andrea has a beautiful pedicure and that they offer gorgeous pedicures at the spa at Woodbury.
One of the listeners wrote in and said everybody seemed to be pretty well manicured in this, except for Herschel, who has this wild man look going on.
Nice. with the little ponytail in the end.
I liked how when Andrea was saying, you're going to, you'll be okay. I'll get out of here. We'll, get you fixed or whatever. He says, when you get free, you're going to find something very sharp and you're going to stab me in the head. That is what you're going to do.
What did you think she stabbed him with? You think it was the pliers?
I don't know.
I think it was the pliers. I think so. It's not that sharp, but she could put it through his eyeball easily.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, she
really
pliers.
Didn't have a good weapon.
No, but the pliers. Those are great.
The zombies are so easy to kill, it looks like,
but fresh zombies are harder. And I think
zombies are harder.
I think so. I think the deteriorated zombies, the ones that have been around for a year now, they're easier to kill. But Milton would have been a harder one, and that's why I think she stuck the pliers through his eyeball and got a good brain jab.
I guess. I mean, I really think that the whole reason why the zombies are squishy is because when they're filming the special effects, the people jabbing at them don't have anything to resist because there's nothing really there, and so the motion they're making is very smooth. And when it's a sharp motion, like when Beth got that one zombie through the fence this time, it looks better because it's so quick. But when it's just like up close with a knife and it just looks like they're pressing it right into their head, then it doesn't look as good. And I think that's why.
At one point, Rick sticks a knife in a zombie's head, and he kind of struggles a little bit to pull the knife out in this episode, and I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah. Do more of that.
Like it was stuck a little bit in the brain, and you had to try to get it out.
I thought Milton did a great zombie as expected. I just have a lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah, Dallas Roberts is wonderful and oddly sexy.
But
not as a zombie.
I was shocked. He looked kind of goth. But not in a good way, like the warm bodies guy. Huh? I was shocked that Andrea died. I did not expect that at all.
Yeah, I thought I thought that was really, it was actually, that was my number 2, that the Finding Andrea was really sad when they finally came up, they finally came upon her, and that they had that, Michonne is the one that I think stole that scene because Denai Guerrero was unbelievably sweet, and it was so nice, and it was such a sweet friendship moment for the two of them when Andrea decides that, I'm going to be the one to take me out here. Yeah. And Michonne's like, I'm not going to leave you.
She finally got to kill herself like she'd always wanted.
I don't think that was how she wanted to go.
No, she wanted to be exploded.
Yeah, it was so much better.
Too bad she didn't have a grenade. I liked that how they did it though. They Milton came after her with his mouth agape, and then they went so you couldn't see behind the door and just heard and you listen again and it totally sounds like a chomp. He's chomping.
But you
don't know at first. And then they come through, and I thought what would be predictable is they'd come through, she'd be laying on the floor all tired, and so she'd sound kind of like a zombie, and you'd think she was one, but then it would reveal that she actually killed Milton and everything was fine, and that all happened except for the part about how everything was fine because he had bitten her.
Exactly.
But that was good. I thought it was well done. And then Andrea said, I wanted to save everyone. I didn't want there to be any death. And I was wondering where that Andrea was when she was handing the knife to Beth, when Beth wanted to commit suicide.
Yeah, Andrea.
Come on. That's ridiculous. And then I thought it was great that just last week I was saying I wanted there to be a character that turns into a zombie and then kills somebody else, and we got that with Milton.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, now I want $1 million.
We're waiting.
I just have
tens and 20s.
A bunch of Andrea stuff. Just a couple more. So she says, I know how the safety works about the gun. Mm-hmm. She said that. Well, no, she didn't say that, but that's a callback to season 1 when she was pointing the gun at Rick in the mall, and he told her the safety was on.
Oh, so sweet. So it was like a little inside joke with them.
Yeah, exactly. Wink, wink, dead. And then I guess that's it. I'm just sad. I'm sad to see Laurie Holden go.
Me too.
But you know what, though? When Andrea died, I was sort of like, yeah, I'm kind of ready to not see her anymore.
What was she, really, honestly, what could she have done at that point? Does she come back to the prison? Does she, what?
I'm sure they could think of something.
What does her story
to do with her? Yeah. If she would turn more into the comic book Andrea, that'd be cool.
I don't know the comic book Andrea. Is she more of a badass?
You've read the comic?
A little bit. Not where she's much of a badass.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. She's not? Oh, yeah.
Not yet.
She's cool. Yeah, she's just not so infuriating.
All right, what's your number 1?
Just the whole ending.
Yeah.
There's something I really like about it, that he's bringing back these busloads of people, and it's a shift over the whole course of the season where he started out with this dictatorship and became hardened to the point where he would pass by a guy wanting hitchhiking and wanting to ride the backpack guy and condemn him to certain death and also chase Tyrese out.
Yeah.
To like, okay, no, the way that you survive is to be open and accepting and bring people together. And, you know, I've always believed that. And like I said, in a smart way where you're careful about it.
Right.
But this is more my style. And so I'm glad to see that they go back and forth between these two. Because sometimes I feel like this show is just saying, you shouldn't trust anybody.
Right.
And I don't like that. It's stupid.
Right.
I think it's stupid. It's more of a risk to just isolate yourself and not trust anybody.
Well, Andrea made it clear at the end, you can't go it alone.
Yeah. But, you know, on the other hand, Andrea erred too far on the other side when she
Right.
didn't kill the governor when
Too
she
trusting.
had a chance. Yeah. It's like sometimes you have to be ruthless, but not all the time.
It was nice that they're combining forces, and I think that bringing more of a community in is what, you know, that's something that I wanted the whole time. I thought, well, instead of expending all this energy to fight each other, how about just expending it on making a real community and fighting the zombies and turning it into a real little village? And maybe they can do that now.
But it's good. I mean, there's a difference between wanting them to move more towards my own personal views and wanting to see a good, tense, dramatic show. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when they did this and showed that, okay, now we're swinging this way, it made me feel like the show was functioning on a deeper level than I had realized. Like, I really... it made me like it a little bit more. On the other hand, it felt like a big fizzle for this episode and for the whole season, for them to end with them staying in the prison and the governor still alive.
Right.
Like, I just was so disappointed. It felt like, okay, this is why Glenn Mazzara is leaving the show, because he wants to move on to new and different things and get them on the road and more interesting things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hope this isn't the case, but the way it ended, next season could just be a retread. They're still against the governor. They're still in the prison.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the prison.
I am too. And actually, I was wondering, why didn't they move to Woodbury?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the real reason for this is because AMC built this expensive prison set. That's why. And the higher up said, we want to get our money's worth. And it made me think of when I was at Apple and we had the iPod mini.
Yeah.
There was an iPod, then there was an iPod mini, which became the #1 selling MP3 player in the world. And then after 1 year of selling that, Steve Jobs just discontinued it and sold the iPod Nano. And it's a bold move, but it's like, don't just rest on what's working. Do new and innovative things all the time, because it's even riskier for this show to get stale.
Yeah.
They'll regret that in the end.
Plus, just from a pure logic standpoint, the prison now, the guard towers are all exploded. The gates are all busted down. The control center, where I presume the generators had at least some little explosions happen in it, where they had the little ambush happen. It's still overrun by zombies. It's not a really safe place.
True, yeah.
To me. And
Woodbury would
it's a
be better.
Freaking prison.
Yes. Woodbury's nice, and they have these walls and everything. And we've seen a couple of zombies get in there, but not like the prison.
No.
And it has a nice cafe and
yes,
everything.
It does, which I highly recommend if you ever visit Snow.
Everyone has manicures.
Pedicures. It's sweet. Yeah, I agree. All right.
So where do you think it's going to go next season based on what we saw?
I don't know. I think that any number of things can happen. It's certainly going to start at the prison. Maybe they'll figure out that they really can't stay there because it's really a not very good facility now. And it's kind of depressing. And Woodbury's much nicer. But anyway, I don't know. I really don't know. By the way, wasn't the music in this episode fabulous?
Yeah, when they had the whole scene with the piano and they were showing them all packing up
at the beginning,
the camera was like panning across the prison. It was like da-da-da-da, whatever the piano. I was like just imagining they'd pan across and then you'd see Herschel sitting at a piano. They're like, Herschel, we're packing.
I'm giving you packing music.
We have one leg.
I love the scene with Rick and Michonne, by the way, where she thanks him and the music's there playing. It was really sweet.
I don't remember the music, but the music's been good.
At the very end, it was really nice, and there was nice music at the end of the at the very ending too. Bear McCreary brought up the nice sound, music at the very, very end when the bus arrives from Woodbury.
Is that your number one?
Mm-hmm. The music.
The music? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I loved it.
If I had more time, I would have clips of all that to play.
See what happens when you get food poisoning. It takes it out of you, man.
Zombie kill of the week?
None.
What?
Yes. And I actually address it. No zombie kill of the week because now the zombies are deteriorating. They're easy to kill and swat away like flies. So while there were tons of zombie kills, I felt like they were just dismissive of the zombies this week.
What about the one where they shot that one zombie
What a dumbass.
in the hall?
Yes, that is the zombie kill of the week. No. My
21
favorite one.
minutes, 27 seconds.
Yes, the one in the hall and the one in the field were the best zombie kills.
And I think when I fell back, they did a lot of CGI on my face because it looks like part of my face kind of falls off.
Yeah. Well,
I don't remember
you
that.
died twice in this episode.
Yeah, I know.
They had to make you look different.
That first one, I had
great.
a plate in my skull, so it didn't really get me. And then I snuck back
Yeah,
around
is that
into
what
the
it is?
prison.
It wasn't really that much of a headshot.
You know
Nice.
what? They show they shot me in the chest. You see, like a few seconds before that, like chest burst coming off, and then they come around and get me in the head, and I fall down.
Oh, cool!
was
That's
kinda
great.
cool.
You actually got shot multiple times.
Yeah.
Neat.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it is actually.
Well, getting
Those
shot
are my
multiple
zombie
times.
kills of the week. God, how could I not have?
It's okay.
God, what a
I mean,
dummy.
I know. I see what you're saying. I agree with that, but I think that was actually pretty cool. I fell back and I really did fall kind of hard, and
Did you?
It kind of hurt, and they're like, "That was good." And I was
Oh,
like,
you
cool.
deserve your screen time. You worked hard for your screen time.
What would you rate season 3 of The Walking Dead
Best one.
as on a scale of 1 to 5 brains?
4.8.
4.8. That's
Juicy
good.
brains.
I'll give it a 4
Yummy, juicy
I'll
brains.
give it a 4.8.
I loved it. I thought this season was fantastic. To me, best one yet. And
4.75.
well,
Definitely the best one yet. Yeah, and it's been the best season for our podcast, I feel like. Although I'm looking forward to kind of slowing it down for the off
I
season.
feel like we could do better. Well done.
No. I'm not saying that.
Well done, Glenn Mazzara, by the way.
Yes. Thank you, Glenn Mazzara.
And by the way,
And God bless you.
Yeah, God, I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah.
And go, Scott Gimple. We're rooting for you, baby.
Go, Gimple, go. Okay, so there's this zombie game, or it's at least a post-apocalyptic where there's people who are infected and they try to get you. And it's called The Last of Us. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, didn't we see the ad last night?
Well, we fast-forwarded through it.
I think I saw the
You
whole
went
ad
back and watched it.
when I rewatched.
I
the
mean,
episode.
I've been watching the development of this game, and it's done by a company called Naughty Dog, who did another series of game called Drake's Fortune that are always like some of the highest rated games. Really great gameplay, good graphics, great storytelling. The characters are rich and vivid. And this game is has a guy, Joel, and a young girl named Ellie. And I think it's 10 years into the apocalypse, so she's grown up with it, and he has to protect her, and they trek across the United States fighting infected and other hostile people. And I have a good feeling about this game. You know, like the whole Walking Dead Survival Instinct game, I just didn't ever think it was going to be that good, and it sounds
Yeah.
like it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be great. It's
Nice.
supposed to come out on June 14th, and I'm looking forward to playing it and talking about it on the podcast if it's actually good.
That's pretty cool. So they just go to location and
I don't know.
that could be fun.
I mean, one thing about it is there's a lot of mystery about it too. They haven't revealed a whole lot. I've just seen little snippets of things, but it looks like it's got a lot of like the characters are important, you know, like how they feel, and it's not just, some games just seem like a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
But this
yeah.
is more about story. You know?
Yeah.
That's one reason why I like the
Ooh.
Telltale Walking Dead game.
Right.
Because you could identify with the characters and
Right.
stuff like that. It's more of an emotional experience. Next thing, last night's season 3 finale had The Walking Dead's biggest audience ever with 12.4 million total viewers.
Wow.
The only broadcast that beat it was the NCAA basketball on CBS.
The
That's
final
pretty cool.
was it. That's the March Madness.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Next, so I mentioned this already, but David Morrissey, who's the governor, only originally signed up for one season of Walking Dead, but Hollywood Reporter said that he'll be a series regular next season.
He must like it.
So season 4 will be a remake of season 3. What did you think of his performance this season?
I like David Morrissey.
A lot?
And by the way, I have a different take on it because I'm not colored by understanding who the governor is in the comic or in the graphic novels. I've never met the governor in the comic novels.
Right.
Graphic novels, sorry. So just from an outsider's perspective, yeah, I love him. It's great.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I don't want him to be like the one in the comic, because the one in the comic was like a mustache twirling villain from the start with no shades at all to him. But I thought he was very good, but a little muted, maybe.
Maybe
his performance might have been a little muted.
He's British.
That's how they are. And so is Rick. But Rick plays it pretty passionately.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
Yeah.
Good, though. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
But still, I'm tired of, I don't know.
I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot of him.
It says he's a series regular.
Series regular.
Hollywood Reporter talked with Dallas Roberts, who plays Milton. They said, when did you find out Milton wouldn't survive the season? He said, I got the death call from Mazzara. We'd gone on hiatus, and episode 14 was changing. The original pitch was that Milton got shot in the stomach and left to bleed out. We shot that version, and then 2 months later came back and shot the version you saw.
Oh.
What was your reaction when you learned Milton would be responsible for Andrea's death? He says, I thought Walking Dead fans are going to hate me for the rest of time for taking out one of the core group. No, do you feel that way?
No, I don't hate him.
Yeah. What if he would have killed Glenn?
I would hate him. I wouldn't just hate him. I would actually hate Dallas Roberts.
Well, it's not going to happen. He says, but if you're going to go out, you might as well go out swinging. Being left to reanimate is more cruel, they say, than if the governor had just shot him in the head. Was it always the plan to have Milton stabbed in the stomach, turn, and bite Andrea? He says, that's right. That's right in the governor's wheelhouse of being such a cruel psychopath. By the time we reshot the scene, there were some different ideas about what their time in the room together was going to be like. The original plan had Milton shot in the stomach, and there were much more active attempts to break out of the door and find some tool by which to free Andrea. The time that Milton and Andrea had together was a lot more active in terms of attempting to try and free her, and that ultimately failed. This time, Milton was so incapacitated by the stabbing that he's left a wrench for her to break out with. Blah, blah.
And maybe stab him.
Yeah, I guess. Or grab his nose and twist it off.
That doesn't kill zombies.
Oh, yeah. Might be fun. What was it like working with Laurie Holden filming that scene? He says, it was tough. I was losing a gig. When they call and tell you you're going to die, it means the job is over and you're not going to make it to the 4th season. For Laurie, she was there from the ground up, and it was her family. She was so raw about that it was a powerful scene to shoot with her. Then 2 months later, they called us to shoot the scene again. It was really brutal and heartfelt, and it was easy to get to because we were both saying goodbye to The Walking Dead, and we were saying goodbye to each other through the guise of Milton and Andrea. They were special days.
Aww. Yeah, she hung out pretty much in Woodbury almost the entire time.
I know.
So she actually
Now
saw
gone.
him more than the people in the prison.
That's true. Yeah. Him and the governor. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is from TV Line. They talked to Laurie Holden, who plays Andrea, or played. They say, how long have you known about Andrea's death? She says, I didn't get the official word until a few days before we began shooting the finale. Can you believe that?
So that would have been like late November, right?
I just can't believe that she went through the whole season not knowing. Until the very end, even though she's been around forever. Like maybe they hadn't decided yet until then.
Yeah.
She says, it was a shock to everyone. I was never part of the original story docs for season 3, and it was rather unexpected. And I also I figured maybe she'd wanted to get out because she was, people weren't being nice to her. But no, I don't think so now. She says, that said, this is The Walking Dead. The show's not conventional by any means, and we know that as actors going in, so you roll with it. You show up, you do the best job you can, and you honor the storytelling. Overall, this has been an extraordinary experience, and I hate the writers. No, just kidding. They say, are you sad there wasn't more time spent showing the beginnings of your relationship with Michonne? She says, it's not up to me, I'm the actor. I do what I'm told. Do I wish we could have seen and explored more of the comic book Robert Kirkman Andrea? Yes, absolutely. Do I wish that I had more scenes with Michonne showing that friendship? Yes, absolutely. But then at the end of the day, I don't think I could ask for a better death. I feel like her life mattered and she died trying and her heart was in the right place. I feel grateful for that. You can't have it all. That interview goes on, and there's a lot of, about how she feels about the whole experience. So if you want to read that, go to tvline.com. Next, in an article on rollingstone.com, Robert Kirkman says next season viewers should expect changes. So this is a little bit about next season. It's not really spoilery. It's just kind of his general view.
Okay.
He says, quote, "We're not going to slow things down, but if I had a criticism of season 3, it would be that it was just too good." No, I'm just kidding. And we want to change that. No, it would be that we didn't focus on character development. We're going to try to step it up a notch in that department. He points to Clear, one of the most well-received episodes this year, about Rick going to see Morgan. We're going to focus on few characters per episode. So I don't know. I think one of the reasons why Clear was good is it's a change of pace.
Yes.
And if it's every episode's that, then it's not a change of pace.
Yeah. And I know what he means about character development. There wasn't a lot of character development. I didn't get to see my darling Glenn do anything too cool. Even his proposal to Maggie was very understated, which I liked, but it was very understated.
But it was short too.
Yeah, and it's hard to have a lot of character development when you're basically being attacked by a sociopathic maniac, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you're just really worried about defenses.
What worries me is Scott Gimple also wrote the episode where Merle died, and when I was saying I felt it was too talky and people were explaining their motivations. And I just hope that they don't think of character development as, let me tell you all my emotions and motivations.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not, character development to me is about showing and not telling.
Right.
But I can kind of see what he's getting at. If it's just all out action, then you don't get to attach to the characters.
Right.
So if they can do a good job of that, then fine. I'll be happy.
Right.
Okay, that's it for the news. Let's talk Audible. Okay, so I wonder how many of you guys listening have actually ever tried Audible.
I'm raising my hand.
Karen is one. Anybody else? Anybody? They have over 100,000 titles to choose from, audiobooks. They have fiction and nonfiction. I'm finally listening to Stephen King's Cell right now, and I'm loving it. I like being read to.
Yeah, me too.
It feels like less work, but you still get the story.
Yes.
And it's just fun to have somebody read to you, and especially if the voice is good, the reader's good.
Do you listen to it while you're walking around the lake?
Yeah, I haven't